some of the old games have aged very well and some haven't. What haven't aged as well, for most of them anyway, is the old joysticks. Like the TAC2, for instance. It's a don't get me wrong, this is an excellent joystick, and the fact that I can still use this after so many years is, yeah, it's not far from incredible, to be honest. But well, along with the games, I have aged as well, and I can tell you this thing is hurt my hands after some gameplay. The ergonomics was probably not a priority when this was made. Yeah, I mean, it's still a brilliant joystick, and I love it for what it is. But hammering down the buttons on this one and holding this in this really awkward position, it does hurt my body after a few hours of gameplay. Same goes for the slick stick, which is a joystick I truly admire. I still pull this one up like once in a while. It has this very short throw. It's very brilliant for like precision games, but the same issue is the button and the ergonomics of it. Perhaps I'm just too old, but chances are if you're watching this, you're old too, because these are really old games. So yeah, so I figured I found a solution to this. When I got back into Commodore 64 and Amiga again, I was using these joysticks. I was quite happy with it. I had a good time. I had great gameplay, and well, then I found new alternatives, and which I intend to show you guys today. Before we begin, I should mention that I'm not getting paid to do these reviews in any way whatsoever. I'm not affiliated with anyone who sponsors me or anything like that. So the two joysticks I'm about to show are joysticks that I have bought for my own use, and I have been using them for quite a while now, and I figured I wanted to share my experience with you, in case you're looking for something new as well. And who knows, perhaps one of these ones is for you. So I'll try to go through very carefully what I think are the pros and the cons with the two joysticks I have in mind. So yeah, check it out. So the first joystick we're gonna talk about is the Monster joystick, the Monster Mini Retro joystick. Awesome overall. It does have some pros, it does have some cons as well. But let's go through at first from what this is. So this is an arcade stick. You assemble this yourself from the parts that you receive. So you screw on all the sides together, and you put the little nuts and bolts in, and put everything together. It's not hard at all, and yeah, I guess any donkey with a screwdriver could actually assemble this without too much hassle. One thing to keep in mind though, these little nuts here, they do like to come off. They're not the locking kind, so you might want to put some Loctite in when you assemble this. Some weak versions you can actually get in if you really have to, of course. But yeah, so let's go through a few features of this joystick. As you might notice, this one has two buttons. While most Commodore joysticks, or not to say pretty much all of them, only sported one, or if they had two, it was like one for lefties and one for righties. So this one does have a second button, and if you use this on an Amiga with VHD load games, there is a very big chance of someone have ported the second button mapped to the game. So most likely you would use it to jump. And for games that doesn't support that feature, there is a switch over here, and if you flick this one, you have now remapped your up position to button 2. So now you would jump in your games by pressing a button instead of pressing upwards, which I know for some people they have a hard time jumping by pressing up. For me, it's never been much big of a problem. I kind of enjoy it. It really depends on the game. For some games I kind of like keeping up for jump, but for some it's way easier to do the short little nudge on the button, of course. Which also brings me to a con of this joystick. If you have it set up like this and you're playing a platformer, chances are that you would want the second button to jump, because it usually makes sense. So typically you would jump and you would use the second one for fire. However, if you play a platformer, you're also very likely to climb ladders. And if you have it switched, then you have to climb ladders by holding the jump button down, because this is now up. There's no way to maintain up and have this as up, unfortunately. That's a con of the joystick. One more thing on the slight negative side would be, yeah, for me, I have this for about 6 months now, and I don't know if you can see this, but my cable have a lot of electrical tape in it at the moment, because it broke. It seems to be a fairly poor quality. And you attach it to the connector and you're good to go. The biggest benefit of using this joystick, I would say, I can also say that I use this for about 80% perhaps of my gameplay ever these days, because it's so freaking comfortable. The Samba sticks and the Samba buttons, they're like absolutely no power required to kind of make it move. And the typical use for this would you would put this on your table, sort of, but I don't, because yeah, I have a bit of a problem with my shoulders and stuff, and if I put this on my lap when I play games, I get my shoulders in a very relaxed position, and I don't get fatigued at all from playing games, not even if I play them for hours. Like, I use this to break the world record of Commando on C64, which I think took me well over 3 hours of mashing buttons and running. It was just a super experience. So yeah, there are a few cons, but is it still worth buying? Yeah, hell yeah, it is. This is the best thing that happened to my retro gameplay ever, I think. So yeah, I do recommend getting the Monster Mini. I bought the, I think it's called the Pro Edition, and you can also select what colors you like and stuff. I chose like a black with pink knob and buttons because I think it looks pretty cool. And you can get any color pretty much that you like. And if you don't, you can change this. I mean, you can get the new ball. It's standard Samba parts. You can get this on eBay for pretty much nothing if you want a different color or so. So you're all good to make it more personalized to you. So yeah, not that much more to say about this. I definitely recommend getting this one. So the next joystick I'm going to talk about is not really a joystick, it's more of a gamepad. So this is the one that is being made by I don't know, a guy on eBay, I think, who goes under the name Retro Game Boys. And what he's done pretty much like in a NES mold. So he made a Commodore or Atari compatible joystick from that. So, well, I must say I was very skeptical about getting this particular gamepad, because I'm not the gamepad type of person at all. Actually, I never appreciated this. I'd rather play it on my TAC2 than I did on my NES. So yeah, the reason for me getting this one, I was hearing so good stuff about this one, and I figured this might be the thing that actually can get my wife and the rest of the family into playing Commodore 64 and Amiga. So that was kind of what I had in mind when I put the order. But of course I tested it, and I must say, to my big surprise, I love this one. It's brilliant. It's very tight control. So the typical use for this one would be some really tight platforming game, because the throw is just really short compared to the big arcade thingy. They both have their place, but yeah, for tight jumps and everything, this is awesome. This also sports a second button, and in this gamepad, this button 2 is always mapped to jump while retaining the function of the up. So if you're playing a platforming game and you do want to jump with the button 2, you can still climb ladders by pressing up. It can, however, get a bit confusing once in a while, because you can, of course, you can still also climb ladders with button 2, and you can also accidentally jump by when you go sideways and you kind of squeeze the button just a bit upwards, and all of a sudden you make a jump that you didn't really expect to do. But that is nothing wrong with the joystick. That is probably me not used to playing with gamepads at all. It has excellent build quality. It feels like a tank pretty much. It does play very well. I finished Ghosts and Goblins with this one. It's a brilliant joystick. It's not very expensive either. If you're in the States, you're in a you're better luck, because yeah, if you get this imported to Sweden like I did, you also have to be paying like import taxes and stuff like that, which kind of sucks. And I wish I had ordered 2 or more at the same time. I could kind of spread them out among friends or so while I was making the order. But of course, when I made the order, I didn't know how freaking great this was. So yeah, and well, for both these joysticks, I would say I do want a second one of each one of them, because I have a lot of old computers and I have them set up in different locations around my house. Some of them are in my man cave, some are in my living room, and this one, actually my plan worked a bit too well, so yeah, my wife kind of stole this from me, so I need a second one for myself now. So yeah, it worked. If I'm supposed to do some kind of conclusion about this, on which one to get or not, I would say get both if you can afford it. And if you can't, then I guess you have to kind of decide for yourself what type of gameplay do you prefer, or because it's all about preference, which one would be the better one. They're both awesome. I use them both in different games, so they both have a place there for me. And about the old ones, yeah, they're still valid, of course, and I do occasionally slip in, like primarily my slick stick, to be honest. But yeah, these modern replacers, they're just brilliant, and I don't think I would play this much retro if I didn't have them. So yeah, they're well worth getting. So that concludes this episode on my channel. I hope this was informative for you guys. Let me know if you liked it or not, if I should have gone into more details, or if you have a suggestion for another modern joystick that is just brilliant, please let me know in the comments. Like, dislike, subscribe if you like. I would be very happy. And yeah, every sort of interaction is highly appreciated. It does help, and it does make it more fun to make videos like this. Also, make sure to follow my Twitch channel, where I live stream yeah, Commodore gameplay pretty much, almost exclusively C64 and Amiga. Once in a while I'll pop my VIC-20 in there as well, and perhaps I do something else, but yeah, very Commodore related, so make sure to follow that one. Right guys, have a great one. Thank you for watching.